Hey everybody, just a real quick one this week. We're going to be making, in the video, we're going to be making the second one to go with this little European 4-in-1 fan earring. It's going to be using a weave that we used a few weeks ago, but with a little bit of increasing and decreasing to give it shape rather than just being in a strip. When it comes to what you need for this, you need some sort of earring piece. In this case, I'm using a little stud earring. One thing to keep in mind is if the hole on the earring finding itself is oriented so that you see the circle from the front, you're going to need another ring so that you can rotate the fan itself. But in my case, it is running the same direction as the post itself, so I don't have to have an additional ring in between. And speaking of the ring, I am using an 18 gauge 5/16 ring for the one that is connected to the ear post, and then I have 18 gauge 5/32 here, which is not an ideal aspect ratio for European 4-in-1, but I do like the way it looks here when it's finished. It's a little bit tighter than a European 4-in-1 in the ideal aspect ratio. Now, grand total, you need 2 of the 18 gauge 5/16, and for each earring you need 26 of the smaller rings. So that's going to be 52 small rings total. If your hole on your earring finding is oriented in the opposite direction, you're going to want 2 more just so that you can rotate the piece. And as always, 2 pairs of pliers, and I will have links to everything I am using in the description. Now, the way that I have this set up is for each earring, I closed 14 rings ahead of time and pre-opened 12, again, per earring. And then I took the open ones, and there's a row of 6 open ones, 4 open ones, and then 2 open ones. And on the first row with 6 pre-opened ones, 5 of them each have 2 closed rings on them. The row of 4, 3 of them have a single closed ring on them, and the row of 2 has 1 closed ring on it. Because of the way that I weave my European 4-in-1, this is what works for me. If you would prefer to have all of your rings pre-opened and go through and add them one at a time, that's a perfectly valid way as well. I'm going to start by taking the first one of my row of 6 that has one of the 5 in the row of 6 that has 2 on it. Sorry, stumbling all over my words today. And I'm just going to close that as is. Now, because of the direction I prefer to weave my chainmail in, when I'm at this point, I will just fan those 2 rings open and then rotate the whole thing. So for me, I have the ring in the middle that I just dropped. The ring in the middle is on top on the right hand side. Okay, we're going to take the next one that has 2 rings on it, going to go down through this bottom ring, up through the top one, and then close it. And it's very common for that bottom ring to just flop down. When going and picking it back up, we're going to flip that back up so that it lays flat again. And then we're going to open up the 2 rings here so that it looks like this. Next one, down in the bottom, up on the top, and close, and flip that bottom one up. It's going to keep doing that for this row because there's nothing holding it. Open the two on the end, so we look like this. Next one, down on the bottom, up through the top, close, this one up over, open here. We've got one more ring that has two on it, down through the bottom, up through the top, and close. Open that pair at the end. Now this last ring from that row, the sixth open ring that has nothing on it, we're still going to weave it like the others, down through the bottom, up through the top, and close. So our first row fully woven looks like this. We're going to take and carefully rotate it and hold it so that it is in this direction, or at least that's the way I do it. You can continue to weave with it in this direction, it just gets a little awkward. And now from our row of 4 that has 3 rings with a single closed ring on them, we're going to take the first one that has a ring on it, and here on this bottom row, we're going to go up through the first 2 so that they are both in there, and close it. Okay, so now this end looks like this. That's the ring we just added with its closed ring. Things are a little fiddly here. And dog hair, apologies for that. So here we're going to go down through this ring that's loose down here, up through the second ring that first one had gone through. It's a little fiddly here because I'm trying to stay in shot, and then up through the next ring that's in the row, so that it is, you are putting it through 3, but once you lay it flat, it is through 1, 2, 3, 4 rings. Okay, and this end, remember how our beginning was flipping out and not staying in position before? It is now doing a bit better, but the other end, because it is loose, is doing it now. You just open up those 2, and it kind of forces that one to go back into position. So take next ring that has 1 closed on it, down through here, up through the last ring we went up through the next ring, and there we go. So now we have our bottom row, or bottom 2 rows with 3 each, and we're going to take our ring that has nothing on it from that row and go down through 1, up through the last one that we went through, and then up through the last one in that row. Okay. this down here. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier to see. So we have 5, 6, 5 leaning this way, 4 leaning this way, 3 leaning this way. Now that last row over here, we are going to take open ring with a closed on it. I'm going to go up through the first 2 on that bottom row of 3. Close it. Lay it so that everything is flat again. Take our last ring, down through that loose one, up through the second one, then up through the third one, and close. So now our piece looks like this. Now our last step is to take this larger ring and put it through the row of 5 that are now going to misbehave. So we have our row of 5 that are all lined up. We're just going to go in each one as we go across, so that, and then make sure that we have all 5. Then take our earring finding, put it on there, close the ring, and now we have both earrings. It's quick, simple, but it does make a bit of a statement, and you can do these in any colors you want. I like to do them in a rainbow of like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then pink, or, you know, pink, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. It's fun. You can do stripes, you can do random colors. This very basic pattern can be used to make a whole variety of earrings. So, hope you have fun making your own. If you like this tutorial and you'd like to be in the loop for all future tutorials, don't forget to go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week.